For the past few couple of weeks and months, I've been feeling like a bit of an idiot. But I believe that the human experience is about learning from our mistakes, and hopefully you guys can take some advice and some lessons from my little issue. Now, for those who do not know, I'm a 20-year-old university student, currently in my third year, which for English students or UK students is a final year of study. So I'm in my final year of my business degree. Now, when I started this degree, I basically knew there was not much that was going to come from it, but I always had in the back of my head that it was a potential sort of, I'm trying to think of the word, like a backstop. I've always wanted to run my own businesses, obviously that's kind of what I do now, but just in case things don't go well, you've got your business degree and that'll get you a decent paying job, blah 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 blah. Coming into being a third year student, coming into the graduation period and coming into job offers and the like, I've learned that there aren't that many of them. You know, let's talk graduate schemes, for example, which is basically, for those that don't know, where an employer hires you because you're a graduate, i.e. to get your little foot in the door. Now, understandably, the company is kind of doing you a favour there, but you are still going to be a worker of the company. So you're, it's 50-50 in a way. They're giving you an opportunity, you take it well, and you work for that business. So you'd expect, or at least I think it'd be fair to expect, a little bit of a pay deduction. Trouble is though, a lot of these graduate schemes, pay deduction, well, I think saying that is basically taking the mick. Because me and my friend worked out that a graduate job in our field, business, will get you about £11 an hour or £10 an hour, which is very near to, I need to extend this, it's very near to UK minimum wage for a business graduate. Now, I've got other friends, by the way, who never did a degree. Not in science, not in business, not in maths, no degree. I've got some who went into apprenticeships. I've got some who went straight into work. Some of my mates who went into apprenticeships trained to become mechanics, engineers, even some sort of legal professionals. And then I got my other friends. I got mates who essentially, from the ages of 16, 17, worked at some retail shop, and now they manage it. So I was speaking to one of my friends about this the other day, and she was telling me, sorry, I'm getting a bit out of breath with a big hill. She was telling me that she gets paid about 24,000 for being a manager at this place, which is fair, or some sort of, managerial level. Now, as a graduate student, we would not be getting very much. We'd be getting, like I say, closer to 21k. And this person has no degree. I don't even think she's got any A-levels. Nothing past a, school level education. Nothing past it. Yet has a decent paying job. Now, why is this? And what's gone wrong? Well, I think there becomes a point where you have to just admit that, quite frankly, a lot of the university system is a lie. And for a lot of students, those who don't do degrees in, let's say, up and coming industries, or industries with constant demand like doctory, like being a doctor or a dentist or the like, opportunities are, quite frankly, low and diminishing. Companies are cutting back staff. AI is taking over. The opportunities that once existed do not exist anymore. So me now, as a 20-year-old student, again, with my final assignments to work on, I'm kind of feeling like, what's the point? Because quite frankly, I already make around about as much as a graduate would. If I was to get a job in my local Tesco, that'd be not far off a graduate pay. The difference is, I've done 3 years of university work. You do the right thing with the intention of, well, admittedly, getting paid more. It's not unreasonable. And it just doesn't come about. If there's one thing that I've realised in the past 3 years, unless you're in a specific industry, again, where that demand is growing, university will probably make you poorer. Because what's changed for me? Well, at aged 18 or 17, essentially, despite my little savings, I had a net worth close to zero. At aged 20, coming into 21, and we're taking out all of the business elements, just the stuff that I would have if I didn't do anything. Taking all that out of it, I would now have a net worth, I'm just reading this sign, a net worth of minus £60,000. Minus £60,000. Because with a maintenance loan and the tuition fees, that is the cost of a degree, a 3-year degree in the UK, minus £60,000. For a job that you're unlikely to get, for a job that's not going to pay you what you're worth. Because let's face it, 3 years of degree, it's not hard to get a degree, but still, you've been good at school, tried your best at college, and you've showed effort through years of education. You're trying for yourself, and you've done everything that's been told to be correct for you. But I think we come to a point of sad realisation that in 2024 and beyond, this is increasingly not the case. There's not a case to be made for going to university. Now, if we're weighing up the entire experience, that's a bit different. I've met some great friends, I've had some great laughs, and other fun that comes with university, and I'm very grateful for that. Did I need to pay 60 grand to do that though? No. In a lot of ways, I'd be much better off if as a 16-year-old, I'd have just become, a worker at Tesco, and because I have a bit of a business mind, worked my way up to being a manager, it would have cost me nothing. As a matter of fact, I'd have been paid for it. But as someone coming from a sort of background where I was the first person in the family to go to university, there's a sort of mindset that comes with that from people, but that's based on, quite frankly, a time period long gone. Gone are the days where you would be guaranteed a decent paying job with a company car included because you've done a degree. So where does your 60 grand go? And is it worth it? Well, like I say, the life experience I got was great. But there's always opportunities to be had. And there's different opportunities that come with different things. I think that's worth noting too. Whilst I wouldn't have been able to do some of the things that I did do at university if I hadn't have gone, other things in my life I would have been able to do a lot better. And that's worth noting too. It's really a bit of a contrast between the two. But when we talk about which is better, that's a difficult question. But what I would say is, for those who are orientated to making the most amount of money possible, well, being 2021 and starting out with minus £60,000 isn't a great place. And at £21,000 a year, 24 if you're really good, bear in mind this is not 24 as in you get 24 grand and no more to worry about. This is 24 grand and your student loans to pay back. You're not going to be paying it back anytime soon. It's quite strictly not possible to pay it off. And for someone like me, I knew this at the time, I weighed up the pros and the cons. Yeah, it is 60 grand of debt. But does that really mean anything to me? No. I feel like 60 grand of debt is when you get your assets seized. That doesn't happen with a student loan. So for that reason, it doesn't really strike me too tough. What does though is the fact that I've got this piece of paper coming out when I eventually do pass, if I do. I got this piece of paper that I paid £60,000 for, and quite frankly, it's worth nothing. Life is an experience, I'd say. So for that reason, I will not be moaning too much about it. As in, I don't care I learnt something. I don't mean that in terms of education. By the way, it provided no insight into business, so I must say that too. But I learnt something about myself, It's an experience. It's most people's first time living away from home. It's most people's first time socialising with friends in pubs, nightclubs. It's most people's first time trying to get a job alongside their studies, whether that be right or wrong. It's most people's first time doing a lot of things. So is it a valuable experience? 100%. But the 17 to 25-year-olds, let's say, that I know that haven't done a degree, do they not have that? Well, I don't know if they do. A lot of them have been able to afford cars. They've still got, a nice place that they can afford to live in. They've got more stability. They've still been able to find a partner. They've still been able to do all the stuff that you'd kind of want to do in those formative years. So is it about the university, or is it a little bit more complicated than that? I'd personally lean to option 2, and I think this world where degrees are sold as a be-all and end-all, and that's the only way that you can make anything of yourself, it dates from a time long gone. It's simply not true anymore, and it's a dangerous message to sell to our young people. They're entrapping themselves in debt for opportunities that they're just not going to get to have. It's not going to get you a good job, most likely. It's not going to get you much in terms of a financial basis. So if you want the life experience, take it, but be aware it comes with, in the UK, about 60 grand's worth of debt. In America, I believe it's significantly worse, and that is 100% worth factoring in to any decision, because it's not a small amount of money from your money, essentially your funds, that you're going to be parting with. It's a lot of money. So that's all I wanted to say, really. It's kind of a venting rant, but also, like I say, the opportunity to share what I've learnt, hopefully with you guys too. If you've got anything to say in it, let me know. Like and subscribe if you enjoy, and I hope to see you in our next one. Goodbye.